What sold you when you read the script?
Scott, conversations with Scott. The script was one that just, I never sort of articulate it, but you just get a gut feeling about a script, and if it just sticks with you for a while after, that's really the test for me, is how do I keep thinking about it, and for how long do I keep thinking about it. And but then it just wasn't possible to get it together because I was in the middle of making a film, and it just wasn't going to happen. And then it was just it was actually quite impulsive. I called up Scott just to be supportive because I assumed he'd moved on and he would have cast somebody else and he'd be making the film. And I just want to be supportive and say good luck with it. And called him up and said, who are you making it with? And he said, no, I told you, you're the only guy I'd make it with. And so I said, oh wow, all right, well I've got 3 months free. Can we get it together? And he did. He got it together really quickly. We shot it out. I did like 27 days on this, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. Who would you like? How would you describe Russell?
He's a stoic individual. He's a guy who stays. He's a guy who, regardless of the conditions of his family and his town, he is a loyal through and through man. He's very archetypally American, but he's finding that like the furnaces around him, have become irrelevant through no fault of his own. He's always done the right thing. He's a decent man, but he sees the town he lives in, he sees his whole life, he sees his hopes and dreams just dashed, and any future plans just obliterated, and then something occurs, and he has to make a decision of does he hold on to this moral code that he's always had his entire life, which has unfortunately been wonderful, but and correct thing, but it's brought him nothing, or does he descend into violence and retribution, but in a very justifiable manner?
Yeah. Would you say that's part of the theme is choices? How would you describe?
Oh, absolutely. Loyalty and choices, and brotherly love, and family bonds, and decay.
Yeah. It felt very like it's like timeless.
I hope so. That would be the nice thing. I look at a film like this, and you go, there are films which are very of the moment, and they're fantastic at that time, and there are films which you can also watch in 10 years from now and still say, bang on, right, that's still great. And I'm hoping, I do think, you can never tell, but I do think that Out of the Furnace may well be that.
I definitely think so. What was the experience like with Mr. Harrelson and Mr. Affleck?
Great. I'd really fought together with Scott to have Casey play Rodney. There were lots of suggestions for other very good actors, but Scott and I just really felt like we thought Casey was so talented, and he would be great at it, and man, he does a wonderful job. And then with Woody, it's great. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in the world, and he's one of the most terrifying bastards you'll ever come across, in this film.
Yeah, that was hard to watch, but in a good way. And Mr. Cooper, what kind of director is he?
I think that because he was an actor, he creates an environment that he would like to have had himself, and so that's one where he creates the world of it, instead of just a little piece where you have to perform in front of the camera. He kind of creates the entire world so that he can shoot, 360, and therefore you don't really feel like you're performing. You just sort of do it, you just sort of exist in it, and I think that's why he has such a good reputation for working with actors.
Yeah. How did filming on location in Braddock kind of enhance?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it just wouldn't have been the same without it. It wouldn't have worked. Being in the real place, feeling the kind of rawness of it. Having the locals being, in the background, of being the real people, getting to hang out with them, going to the real steel furnaces. Learning my accent and everything from the locals. It all makes such a huge difference and leads to the ability to really sell the film in a proper way and just sort of have it exist.
Yeah, I'm curious, and not to ask too much about process and go inside baseball, but do you kind of change the way you get into the headspace depending on what actors you're playing off? How would you describe kind of how you...
No, I would say you change it just depending on what film you're doing, what director you're working with, what style he's going for. I like to. I don't like to have any one technique. You know what I mean? You switch it up for whatever feels necessary, and then obviously with each actor, you just play off and you see what happens. You know, you don't decide ahead of time how you're gonna respond to anybody. You do it at the moment.
Nice. In kind of this point in your career, I mean, are there little boxes you want to keep checking with kind of what kind of characters you play, or is it just?
I don't really have that. I've never had a strategy. I've never had a plan. I just sort of, I'm quite myopic with that. I just, whatever's in front of me, does it interest me? Do I remember it? And then, okay, great, I'll do it. I don't compare or contrast to other films. I don't have a great knowledge of other films, particularly. I just do what's in front of me and what interests me.
Gotcha. So it's not like you're, romantic comedy, drama.
No, I don't have that at all. No.
Nice. I've heard, pray tell, that Mr. Harrelson can sometimes be a little bit of a jokester. Did he tone it down for this one, or was he still, before takes and stuff?
I mean, look, on any film, especially a film like this, you always actually want to have a bit of a laugh, because you can't maintain that level of intensity without all just dropping down dead. But I gotta say, Woody was pretty resilient and steadfast in sort of being Curtis the Goat, as I saw it on this one.
Nice. I felt, this kind of watching the whole thing, which I think is what I'm supposed to be, because it's just super intense. And afterwards I needed to kind of, relax and
have a
think
drink.
about it. Yeah, but I'm wondering, do you think, is there like a little bit of a lighter movie of yours that you would recommend people see after it to kind of help as like a dessert, if after they see it?
Well, I mean, look, I've got another film coming out this year, American Hustle, and so hopefully they'll go from that with this one and then go look at that one as well.
Very good. I hope I get to see that soon. It's so fun. Good. Well, thank you so much.
All right,
Such
thanks.
a pleasure. Thanks for